Have you ever had a guy leave, ghost you, y'all break up for no reason, or even if you had a reason, even if he came up with a reason, and then he was gone, and all of a sudden, he comes back. You get that random text, WID, and you like, what the hell? In this video, I'm going to tell you why they come back. I'm going to give you 7 reasons. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Coach Ken. I help people navigate the complexities of modern day relationships so that they live a life of abundance. So today's video, 7 reasons why a guy breaks up, leaves, goes, but he comes back. And so I'm going to explain it. Now, the first thing you've got to understand that he doesn't always come back because he loves you. He doesn't always come back because he just wants to be with you. He just feels you're the most wonderful thing in the world. Not always the case. Now, in some instances, it might be the case. But let's jump right in why he does that. Number 1, sex. Sex is a powerful motivator. Ooh, the sex was good. He made your liver quiver. He slapped that ass a few times, and y'all sucking and whatever I was going to say, anywhere, everywhere, and it's good. But I got to help you understand something about sex. Sex is a motivator, but there are 3 kinds of connections. The reason I need you to understand, ladies, 3 kinds of connections. The first is physical, mental, emotional. So the physical connection is how well do we connect physically, or our chemistry physically, because we're all sexual creatures, and at the end of the day, we desire each other like that. All right, that's the first connection. They're not in any particular order. But the second connection is the mental connection. That's the connection. Do we think alike? How do we see the world? Do we vibe that way? And the third connection is the emotional connection. That's our hearts begin to get connected and intertwine with each other. Now, men, the way we're wired, some people go in the comments are going to say, I don't believe that shit, but whatever. The truth is, men are wired because we're full of testosterone. That's the way God made us. We want the physical connection first. We are physical creatures. We are ignited by what we see, what we smell, what we touch. And so we want that physical connection. And the last thing we want to do is give an emotional connection. Women, on the other hand, and I'm not saying all, y'all, women, they like the physical connection and the mental connection as well, but many times they've been conditioned to want the emotional connection. I want somebody to really be into me. We've been taught that relationship, that family, that big house, the kids running around, and they desire that many times. Well, the man wants the physical connection first, okay? The woman may want the emotional connection first. However, the man's not going to get that. So what I teach my people is you both strive for the mental connection. That's something both parties can give up. You require that. Let's talk about what we believe together, okay? That's another video, but I just had to explain why sex is so powerful for men. Number 2, all right? You don't need him. See, men have a need to be needed. That's just a part of our makeup. We want someone to need us, all right? When you withdraw and you say, well, okay, all right, you don't want to be with me? All right, cool. It may hurt at first, but then he sees you living life. He sees you living your best life. Now, even if it hurts, his thing is, wow, she doesn't need me. So he comes back because that is attractive to him. To men, and it's counterintuitive, really, because men want to be needed, right? Because we try to fix stuff. However, we don't want a woman to be needy. Is that crazy or what? So It's kind of a juggling balance. So what you do is you show him that I have a life without you. I don't need you. And his objective is to want you to need him. So when you move away and the man sees that you don't need him anymore more, all of a sudden that becomes super duper attractive. The third thing, the third reason why men come back is it's a form of control. Plain and simple. He wants to say, okay, I can get that back. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna show her, and it becomes this game of manipulation to see if I can get you back, to see if I still got it, to see if that's still mine. You know, he's like, oh yeah, that pussy's still mine. I'm going to get that, right? And listen. Now you don't know until in a later video, I'm going to tell you what to do when they come back. But what I'm simply saying is, this is why he's coming back. Number 4, it's comfortable. I went outside. I saw that I didn't know what the world was like. It's comfortable. You're familiar. I know who you are. I know what makes you upset. I know what you're going to argue about. I know what to do and what not to do. I don't have to think about it. It's like second nature. It's like it becomes autopilot. Like you driving somewhere and you don't even know how the hell you got there. You just know my subconscious programming knows to stop right here, turn right, go down the street, turn left, 3 streets up, and I'm where I need to go. That's kind of how the relationship is. It's familiar. It's comfortable. And the truth is, he doesn't have to change. You don't require him to be a better version of himself. So what does he do? He comes back to you because it's comfortable. Number 5, he genuinely misses you. Listen, y'all, I'm not going to discount and say that a guy may not miss you. A lot of times they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. There is some truth to that. And he may realize that, you know what, this is what I had. That's what happened to me. When my wife told me one time, y'all, my wife says, I can no longer do the relationship like it is now. She says, I have to love me more than I love you. And I'm done. If the relationship is not going to grow beyond this point, I can't do this anymore. And I was like, okay, go ahead and do what you got to do. Go ahead. All right, cool. But after day 1, I'm like, I ain't calling. Day 2, I ain't calling. It got to day 7 and I realized something. I saw my life without her. And I genuinely missed her. I missed her in it. And I said, I no longer want to experience that. Well, that was over 21 years ago. And we've been married since. And so what I'm saying is he can genuinely miss you. Number 6, you are with someone new. Ooh, the biggest thing that men don't like to be compared to other men. But if you moved on and you're with somebody else, especially if the dude looks good, smooth, nice body, if it's an upgrade, that right there, he's going to call back and see if he can get you back. And then, listen, I'm just saying, he might not even really want to be with you. But the fact that somebody else does makes him say, I want to try to get that back. I want to try to get her back. And listen, I often say this, when they come back, if whatever reason he came back, if you decide to give him another chance, if the reason was good enough, I'm not saying it is or it isn't. You got to decide that. But you got to also know, if his core values don't line up with your core values, at the end of the day, it's not going to work. I don't care what you feel about him. Last but not least, and it goes right in hand with he genuinely misses you, is he realizes what he lost. He realizes that you're a catch. He realizes that you are far more than he believed you were, and and he may have taken you for granted. But when you separate from the relationship, and when you separate from a person, and then you have time to actually look at the person, analyze their worth, analyze the value that they have in your life, then and only then will you be able to analyze whether or not what your future looks like as it pertains to them. All right? 7 reasons why men come back.